That's loud. Oh, holy crap. So anyway, I headed over to Jamestown, New York last night and was getting ready to set up about 8 o'clock, set up to go to bed, and I got a call and they said, okay, we got a double for you today for tomorrow morning, which is today. So I had to drive cross country up here to the Buffalo area, and I picked up a double load. I've got 2 pallets. I'm taking one to Streetsboro, Ohio, and then I'm going to continue on down to South Carolina for a tomorrow morning delivery. And where I totally screwed up, and I know better, is from Jamestown to Buffalo is cross country, as I like to call it. It's not on the interstate, and we had a big blizzard going through. And the problem with that is when you drive cross country during a blizzard, you're on secondary roads, and secondary roads are not the ones they plow very often. So that got interesting last night. And I wasn't videotaping. I got to the point I wasn't even listening to the radio because I couldn't see a car length in front of me at times with blowing snow. And high beams just made it worse. I was using the GPS to make sure what the road was going to do in front of me. I had brought it down close to make sure the road went straight. You'd not be surprised by any turns, because yeah, that was bad. And this is a box van, and rear-wheel drive. I have nothing in it. I got new tires, that helps. But the van doesn't weigh anything on the rear side. Which means it's absolutely horrible in the snow. So as I started working my way north, I actually got to a spot where I turned off the road. It was like a little dog leg, and the back end of the van sunk into the snow and stopped. I actually got stuck in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. And I just kind of moved it around for a while, and I finally got out of this little soft spot. And I was able to go back down the road about 50 yards and pick up a head of steam and then go through the intersection as fast as I could, and it made it through. And it's weird because I have new tires on here, but this van is so light and rear-wheel drive, it doesn't bite in. So my little skirmish from Jamestown, New York up to Buffalo was probably the most uncomfortable snow driving I've ever done in my life. Now, I live in Texas, but I'm from Colorado, so I know how to drive in snow. But driving in a light rear-wheel drive vehicle in blinding snow on a road that hasn't been driven on by anybody and hasn't been plowed, and I'm kind of blazing trails, was a little bit unnerving. But other than that one place where I tried to zigzag off, I made it okay. I was made it alive. But once I got to the rest area in Buffalo, the truck stop in Buffalo, like 2 miles out, all of a sudden the snow stopped. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I went and picked up my load this morning in Grand Island, which is right above Niagara area, right on the Canadian border, and I have 2 pallets on board. And now I'm back out here on the road, and the snow came back. And something I've noticed, that apparently this blizzard went through, and we got this camera roll right now, so you might see this. But when the conditions get bad, truckers will pull off, which, everybody's a smart thing to do. But what happens is they pull off on on-ramps and off-ramps, and there was a whole bunch of trucks out here this morning that were stuck. They were stuck. And there was guys trying to dig out and dig their vehicles out because the snow plows go by and kind of bury where they're sitting. Oops. But there's a bunch of choke points coming up here. I've hit 3 of them so far. And it's the choke points is where all the trucks are. Where all the trucks are off and cattywampus. And there is one really fancy rest area back here on this segment between Buffalo and New York state line, Pennsylvania. There's a really fancy rest area in the middle of the road, and you pull off on the right or the left, depending on where you are. And it's got this catwalk that goes over the road into the main area, and I've actually videoed it in the past. It's a really nice place. I was going to get off back there, but I couldn't because it was full of snow and full of trucks. And they were all stuck in various disarray on the on-ramp, and in the parking area, you couldn't even go up in there. So I guess that's kind of saying the way things are going to be today. So I've got a gas station stop up here in about 50 miles I'm heading towards. But yeah, I'm looking at my screen, and I tell you what, it's a lot worse looking out the window and looking at the screen. It's pretty rough here, but I'll look for more choked off areas. But I'm on the toll road right now, and I'm curious how they're able to charge toll with the cameras. You know, being that you're taking a flash, and the flash is going to flash on the snow, which will blind the camera. So I'm imagining these tolls today are going to be a little off, your toll revenue. And that's from somebody I can't read. I got to keep my eyes on the road, but hi back at you, sorry. All right, now I got the road open. I'm doing, in case anybody's wondering, I'm actually going 55 miles per hour right now, because I don't have the confidence to go faster. This vehicle has different settings for driving, one of which is slippery or icy, but I currently have 1,500 pounds back in the rear end, and I have it on heavy, because that's about half my payload. So I'm going to leave it there. It's only good for about 3,100 is my payload on this van. But like I said, this is a double drop. One is in it's called the town called Southborough, which is southeast of Cleveland. And it snows. So yeah, no kidding. And then head down towards South Carolina for the morning. But yeah, my drive last night coming up, I don't even know what roads I were on. They were all secondary roads from Jamestown, New York to Buffalo, and that was a ill thought out idea, taking the back roads, because the blowing snow, I couldn't see. At times, I literally couldn't see a car length in front of me on a road that was 3 or 4 inches of snow that had not been plowed, and I'm blazing trails. And I don't know if I'm coming up on a hill, uphill or downhill. I can't tell until I'm in it. So I don't know if I need to speed up or slow down. Do I like French fries? I think everybody likes them. Back in my day, I used to date Wonder Woman, and nowadays I even wonder if it's a woman. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on that one. You know, you got to wonder if it is a woman. I'm fortunate. I've been married to the same dingy woman forever. Don't get me wrong, I tried to return her a couple times, but they won't take her back. I don't have the receipt, and it turns out she's analog, and everything now is digital. You know, I can't even get store credit for that woman, trading her in. Yeah, it's weird. Now I got the whole highway to myself. I like that line, though. Back in my days, I used to date a Wonder Woman, and nowadays I wonder if that's true. That's true. I may steal that one for future years. It's like I said, now I'm currently doing 60 miles an hour in this. And this part of the world, they salt the roads, so I don't think ice is really going to be an issue. Rust will be an issue. Yeah, only 2 to 4 years. We're happy. Yeah. Cool. I got one there in front of me now. So I'm a breath below half a tank of gas. When I stopped in Buffalo last night, it was 6 degrees. And usually I get out and I hook up my generator, and I have a floor heater, and I've done that a few nights, but last night I wasn't going to be there long enough, and it's a lot of work to set up. And the problem with setting up when it's 6 degrees outside is, you just don't feel like doing it. So basically I parked the van and left it running and let it heat the inside that way, because it was cold. And I had to run into the truck stop, and I put on my heavy coat, and it was still freezing. Where's this right now? I am on Interstate 90 between Buffalo, going west towards the state line. The next big town is Erie, Pennsylvania. And I am currently driving westbound in that direction. And I'm only going 53 miles an hour right now. Look how I'm passing everybody. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I've had to squelch the radio down, the CB, because there's been people bitching at each other about this whole thing, because there's truckers getting in the left lane, kind of blocking traffic, and other truckers yelling at them about it. now we're slowing down. Well, that was a great sound. That bang you just heard was something hitting the side of the vehicle, probably blowing off the top of that truck, but that wasn't on glass, that was metal on metal, or ice on metal. Are you reading? Alaska. I'm trying to watch the road here. Yeah, big old chunk of ice at the side of my vehicle. If that was glass, that would have gone through, but there's no glass on the sides. Alaska. What part of Alaska are you from? I haven't been up there in 1,000 years, but I've been to Ketchikan, Sitka, Juneau, Fairbanks, Anchorage, are the limits of where I've been. Woo, look at this. Okay, now we're down to 50 miles an hour. Doing a live, all I'm doing is glancing down and looking at it. Oh, like I said, I can glance down at this. I'm not going to sit here and read while I'm surrounded by people. Where am I driving? I am on Interstate 90 between Buffalo, westbound towards the state line. It's called distracted driving. Then don't be distracted by it. Back over. I am multi-talented. So we're going westbound along the lake, and the next big town is Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm kind of sort of close to the border right now. Yes, I'm recording my crime. Ah, you should have been there when I was recording my cannonball. Ooh. Yeah, I thought the snow had passed. I was wrong. Yeah, but some more people are jumping on board. Yeah, the lake effect is ridiculous. Yeah, last night I drove up from Jamestown, New York, up here to Buffalo. It was like 80-something miles, and it took me cross-country. Ooh, boy, that was no fun. No fun going on secondary roads that haven't been plowed with the wind howling. Like I said, I couldn't see a car length in front of me, and I'm driving along at 20 miles an hour. And I'm using the GPS just to know that the road goes straight. And anytime there was the slightest curve in the GPS, I would start slowing down. But it was horrible. Okay, I'm east of you. All right, well, I don't know. I didn't know it was going to be snowing today. I thought this weather went through last night. So this is no fun. But I'm carrying 1,500 pounds, 2 pallets, 2 drop points. This is the first time I've ever done a double drop like this, which was 2 sets of paperwork. I kind of had to figure out how to do that. There we go. Now we're down to 45 miles an hour. Someone just posted something in a language I don't speak. And all this in a rear-wheel drive van. Yeah, like I said, I tried to pull into a rest area back there, that fancy one with the catwalk that goes over the road. Is this guy going to stay right here? But I couldn't get off because the rest area was full of snow. I agree. There's another Expediter right there. You don't have to dramatically run your flashers, we know. Oh, he's moving back over. Alrighty, I got a hole here to go back up. Yeah, last night, because I've been driving behind a lot of vehicles and it's kicking up moisture and snow. Your windshield gets disgusting, which you can, I don't know if you can tell. Windshield's disgusting. I have that below zero fluid in the windshield wiper fluid, and yeah, that doesn't actually work. So I can't wash my windows off. My headlights have so much stuff on them that the headlights seem dim last night driving along. But then again, in the snow, when you flip on your high beams, it's actually blinding, which is bad. All right, we're going 53 right now. So salt on the roads, good for traction, bad for rust. So at some point, I'm going to get out of the snow conditions, and it's going to get above freezing, which currently is 8 degrees outside. And once it gets above freezing, I have to wash the van, and I have to get the wand and get completely underneath it, and all the cracks and corners, and the wheels, and the wheel wells, and the trans. We got to open the engine compartment, and rinse down there, because if you don't, you'll rust your vehicle to pieces. And I've had to do a couple of major cleans on this van since I started working out here, because rust will tear your stuff up. All right, 55. Whew. One of the criteria for the load I had, because 2 of the containers that I can see are some kind of a liquid in a barrel, is they said make sure you have a closed vehicle, which this is, and there's not a wall between me and the back, which there is not, because it had to keep it from freezing. I worked at a truck wash. Oh yeah, that's serious business. Those truck washes. I've never taken my van through one of those because I imagine it's really expensive. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My lane's gone. We got a plow or something up here. Carriage. Yeah, you have to. You have to clean. You have to, like I said, you have to get in all the cracks and corners. And I get the wand to go crazy underneath the van with rinse. And then when you get out of a salt area, I start driving through puddles and stuff, splashing underneath just doing what I can. Okay, where'd he go? Okay, there's a vehicle up here in the left lane. Yeah, and the thing about expediting, about driving an Expedite van, is the cargo for expediting is all in the northeast part of the country, and I'm coming out of the Houston area, so I have to catch a load, which is hard to do, but I have to catch a load in the Houston area and come up into here, and then you drive around in this part of the country for a few weeks, and then you catch a load going back, which is hard to do again. But normally I end up in a Laredo run, and then I just deadhead home. Anything not painted was rusted, especially axles, really frozen. Oh yeah, I believe you. And a lot of people just ignore this stuff like it's no big deal. It's a big deal. Okay, dude, you don't have... Yeah, getting Laredo's, you can get a load to Laredo. They're usually good paying. The problem is you can't get out of Laredo. I don't know if you've ever been down there, but for vans, pick a truck stop. There's 40 or 50 vans sitting there waiting for cargo that doesn't exist. So when I go to Laredo, I drop and immediately deadhead. It's like 300 miles. It's a drive, but it pays me a lot to get to Laredo that I can get home. All right, there's our plow, taking up space. You're saying take peroxide water fluid. Oh, hydrogen, really? Hydrogen peroxide. All right, so some kind of an alcohol mix. Well, let me try this. Here we go. Oh, that looks so much better. That's sarcasm, by the way. Hydrogen. All right, let me try that, because yeah, I have this fancy fluid that's like, oh yeah, it works at 10 below zero. No, it doesn't. Let me get by this guy. Currently going 50, by the way. All right, hydrogen. I'll try that. I'm gonna buy some of that, like hydrogen peroxide. I'm gonna buy some of that. Let's see, today, because I like having the option of cleaning the windows off. Okay, I got the highway back to myself again. Yeah, I'm still looking for all the trucks. I'm stuck on the side of the road. Haven't seen them. I never thought about that, adding extra fluid to it. Like I said, this is a toll road, and I'm real curious how they plan on charging tolls. Because this van is square on the back, and the snow wraps around and sticks to it. The van, if we were to get out right now, which I'm not pulling over because I'll never get going again, the snow on the very whole back side of the van is like 2 inches thick right now. I promise you. And the license plate's back there. I don't know, I really wanted to repeat what you were saying, that's all. It's only showing it once on my screen. Wind chill. Yeah, Yeah, but it wasn't working when it was in the 20s either. And my wife, I was talking to my wife about it last night. She suggested it's residual fluid from other type of fluid, which is possible. But I put 3/4 of a gallon in there of this stuff over the last few days, so I kind of figured it would be, the right temperature. Then again, I bought it in Texas, so there's the possibility it's fake, because I don't think you're going to be driving in these kind of conditions. Whoa, another one coming up. It shows it 10 times on my screen. No, it's only showing it once on this end. That's weird. Whoa! Okay, what do we got here? Whoa! This is what it looked like. Oh, there we go. Okay. Better. Okay, we're back. He's whipping a U-turn. I actually have family that lives up here. That's not Texas. The last town you hit on on 90 here westbound in New York is Ripley, and I actually have family. The family farm is up here, and my cousin who lives there, ironically, works for the Thruway, which means he's out here doing this job right now. He's probably driving a snowplow. That might have been him back there. But I never call him during the workday because he'll never answer his phone because he's, hardcore. But he's probably out here right now driving one of these plows. He's one of the supervisors. More than once. Okay, yeah. All right, well, understood. But on this end, on my screen right here, I only saw it once. Oof. Just by Buffalo. All right, Kenmore, gotcha. Yeah, our family in this area, they have a farm, 160-acre farm that's been here for, and I'm not making this up, 300 years. I've seen the original deed, which was handwritten, and it said something about the north half of sector so-and-so. And we'll drive right by the property, and Route 20 drives through the middle of it. They cut through it, but I usually am coming down this road and I can look out the window and see it, but under these conditions, I don't think I can, because I can't see the other side of the highway over there. Yeah, if you're out here expediting in weathers like this, be it snow or just heavy winds, and you're watching big trucks get bumped around, the safest thing you can do in reference to those big trucks is don't be anywhere near them. Seeing is overrated. Yeah. I'm going to agree. Yeah, if there's big trucks out here driving along and they're getting blown all over the road, don't get anywhere near them, because you're asking for trouble, because they do flip over, and I have seen them flipped. And actually, I have my camera going because I kind of figured we'd run into some of that. Now I can see a little bit, but no. But yeah, you don't want to be anywhere near these guys. And trucks get this whiplash effect where if the driver, for any reason, has to jerk the steering wheel and straighten the truck or turn, there's like a whiplash, and it goes through to the back of the trailer, and the whip goes out the back. And if they happen to be driving along and they're having winds or the trailer's light or there's some kind of bad condition, that trailer can pull that whole truck over. And I've actually watched it happen. What's this guy doing? Oh, he just running his flashers. I thought he was trying to change lanes. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, moving back over. I grew up in snow. Yeah, they in trucks, and you're telling they nap on the side of the road, but what was happening is back here, before I turned the phone on, there were trucks on the side of the road all over the place. See the back of this truck? See how much snow is stuck to it? Mine is a little more consistent. It's solid. Like you can stick your finger into the second knuckle, how deep the snow is. But what these trucks did last night is they pulled off on the shoulders on the on-ramps and off-ramps, and the snow built up overnight, and the snow plows pushed it around. Slow down, dude, I'm going 50. And it's not actually slippery out here. That's what's weird. And the trucks got stuck. So that's why the traffic was slowing down. Is all the trucks were stuck on the side of the road. There's snow built on the vehicles and then packed around it, and they couldn't get out. Yeah, I'm going 52 miles an hour right now. I mean, it might look like I'm going fast, but I'm really not. It's the old saying, it's not me going faster, it's them going slower. I guess this right here is the effect of global warming. Oh, heat waves up to 9. Said hi, Randy. Oh, Randy, I haven't seen you on here in a while. Okay, visibility's getting better. A little bit. I don't know where the storm ends. I didn't think there was a snow. I honestly didn't think it was storming today. I thought this went through last night. Psych. Ooh, what marker are we at? Oh, as if I could read the markers. Let's see. Like I said, up here at some point we're going to cross under an overpass, and that's where the farm is. Yeah, the open road. The open road is a thing. That's something about this job. Lots of appointments with the prosthetic lab. Okay. Yeah, the open road. I tell you, that's something about this job that I enjoy. This is not high stress driving. Big truck it is, but in a van it's like no big deal. And I enjoy traveling around the country. I stop and talk to people. Where currently I am on Interstate 90. I have left Buffalo about an hour ago, and I am westbound on 90 along the lake going towards Cleveland, but the next big town is Erie, Pennsylvania. So I'm working my way to the New York State line right now. And if I told you I knew where I was, I'd be lying, because I don't really know the reference points at this moment, at this particular moment. I don't remember what I was talking about. Sorry. Am I lag? What does that mean? I don't know what a lag is. Okay, now I'm going 58. That's my gas mileage. 16.5 miles per gallon. So my gas mileage is plummeting. I heard lag. I don't know what lag means. Oh, all right. I got somebody trying to pass me right now, so let me get up here. Yeah, about being on the open road, I get to meet all kinds of interesting people. And I get to go to places I would never see. Truckers in the snows. Well, actually, a lot here, Tarnus. Yeah, truckers, I got the radio tuned down right now, but there are truckers on here yelling at each other because there's dudes driving stupid, and back here about half an hour ago, it was really bad. The trucks were hogging all the lanes and going real slow, and other truckers were getting on there. And I don't know who's driving what. And nowadays, not everybody has a radio, which is kind of idiotic as far as I'm concerned, to be on the road in a truck without a radio, because it's times like this when they become useful. When there's an accident or some kind of traffic issue, or whether that's when your radios come in real useful. The rest of the time, they have a tendency to be quiet, but people will come out here and just not have a radio and be in the middle of all this. I'm part of this guy. And my visibility's going away again. Come back over. Nobody around me. And I've driven in these little bitty towns, mostly in the Northeast. I had a load. I went to Oregon once. I went to North Dakota. Never been up there. Yeah, that's probably what, and a lot of these guys are people from the Middle East that have never really dealt with snow, let alone snow in an 18-wheeler. And yes, when you go to these truck stops and you go and use the restrooms, there's people running around. There's a whole lot of people that you can tell they don't speak the language. Drove a full-time four-wheel drive stuff. Yeah, I've never driven one either. I've driven off-road in a four-wheel drive, but I've never done it on the road. But I get to go to all these little obscure areas. I've been to Connecticut. I got to go drive just across the border into Maine. Never been up there. And I go to all these little towns, and that's, if you go into my channel, you'll see under a section called the Scenic Route. Yeah, Michigan, yeah, you get a lot of this up there. But I have a section called the scenic route. And the scenic route is about little things that I find interesting. My wife told me this: if you think it's interesting, other people will think it's interesting. So I take little videos of stuff I bump into, and I shot one in Wisconsin in a town in a name I can't even begin to pronounce, that, which that whole state is full of places that you can't pronounce the names of. The whole cities is crazy. But it was an old rusty truck built in like a 1920s, early 1920s body style, sitting there. And first of all, you open the cab, and I don't understand how a full-grown human being could get in the vehicle, because it's like meant for a 12-year-old. But if you think about World War II, anything and everything they could recycle that was made out of metal, they threw in the smelter. So to have an old, worn-out vehicle from the okay, this guy don't run me over, from the 1920s that's still sitting there that didn't get thrown in the smelter is amazing to me, that thing even exists. I got a guy trying to crowd me, a trucker trying to crowd me. Can't pronounce the names. Yeah, you go, what are you going to? The town of Chadeclou-la-Plaire or something like that. And you're like, yeah, whatever. You know, just give me a word I can pronounce. What is that, Norwegian or something? This guy's dropping stuff. He's dropping stuff all over the road. All right. Yeah, and I mean, there's, again,